so I brought that color DeLorean.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Pinnacle Prince, and today we're going to be reacting to 15 more times The Simpsons predicted the future. Now, me personally, I don't watch The Simpsons, but I have heard that they predicted like the Kobe Bryant death. That's pretty much it. But apparently they're known for this stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the video.
Disney buys Fox.
Proud addition to the Disney family and soon appearing on Disney Plus. I, for one, salute our new corporate overlords.
In terms of entertainment, Disney is king. But that's honestly because they've been buying all sorts of extensions for themselves over the last 10 years.
Do you want to win any of these items on the screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message.
They bought Marvel Comics, they bought Lucasfilm, and now they're a little under 2 months away from officially owning Fox and all of its properties, which is a huge get, and one that would be shocking if The Simpsons didn't predict in 1998. The episode, When You Dish Upon a Star, has Homer making a movie script and actually getting picked up by Ron Howard and Brian Gazer. As we go to the movie studio, we see that it got backing from 20th Century Fox, but under the logo 20th Century Fox are the words, a division of Walt Disney Co. Yup, they knew that Disney would buy the company 20 years before it happened. Super Bowl's halftime show. In 2012, the show did an episode featuring the very over-the-top artist Lady Gaga, and she did a performance in the town of Springfield, but her performance was done nearly entirely in midair. Fast forward to 2017, and Lady Gaga was asked to go and do the Super Bowl halftime show, and to start the entire thing off, she jumped off the roof of the entire stadium. It was staged, obviously, but the fact that this happened at all and resembled parts of what she did in Springfield is very weird. Maybe she remembered the episode and decided to mirror it. Weirder things have happened when Lady Gaga is concerned. eBay trouble. When you have a comedy like The Simpsons that can poke fun of anything and everything, you'll find that there are tiny jokes lodged at institutions and even other countries everywhere. And this was shown in full in season 23 during a scrolling marquee. Homer Simpson is invited to be a guest on the TV show Headbutt, and during the episode, the lower ticker has a gag that reads, Europe puts Greece on eBay. It's a throwaway gag about the country's debt. However, in 2015, Greece defaulted on its debt, and the country is still having financial troubles today. To be clear, Greece was having financial troubles at the time of the episode back in 2012, but their prediction of the eBay sale was technically right because of the defaulting, and it's these little jokes and gags that prove why many people pay attention to The Simpsons, because they get a lot right. Nobel Peace Prize. Let's start off with a basic one, shall we? Lisa, Martin, Database, and Milhouse had a betting pool for the Nobel Prize in a 2010 episode, season 22, episode 1 to be exact. If you look to the right of the red circle, you'll notice Milhouse picked Bengt R. Holstrom to win the prize for economics. In 2016, Holstrom actually won that prize. That's one heck of a coincidence, and obviously when it comes to the Nobel Peace Prize, certain people are nominated year after year for their accomplishments. Sigmund Freud, for example, was nominated 13 times, though he never did win. Anyway, it's kind of funny to see that they were able to pick a winner from the future. Makes you wonder what other guesses involving people they've done. FIFA corruption scandal.
I am the executive vice president, what you Americans call soccer. I see that I myself am about to be arrested for corruption.
Unlike the previous entry, this one was not only accurate, it was timely. This particular prediction came in 2014 in season 25, episode 16. Lisa gives a speech about her father being a hero, which goes viral. Because of this, Homer is asked to referee games at the World Cup in Brazil. Homer refuses bribes to fix games, as corruption seems to be rampant at the World Cup. In 2015, it was revealed that certain bodies within FIFA were involved in bribery, fraud, and money laundering. I know that this kind of thing may seem small time compared to all the other scandals that we've gone through, but trust me when I say that this was a big deal at the time, and is still a big deal to this day. FIFA isn't just a soccer organization, it's one that encapsulates the world in a way that is even bigger than the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. Numerous countries and people were affected by this scandal, and it made the revelation of it all the more shocking, and the fallout of it all the more important. You almost have to think that the Simpsons writers knew something would happen with FIFA before making this episode, but obviously we can't prove that. But again, to do this episode and then next year have it be revealed as true, it's pretty insane. Biggs Boson. One of the biggest and most important things about The Simpsons is that Homer is an idiot, and has been for most of the series, and yet Homer Simpson almost predicted the mass of elementary particles, the Higgs boson, more than a decade before it was discovered, according to a book on maths in The Simpsons.
Hey, I heard that it's a couple of math equations that no one's able to solve on the planet.
Homer becomes an inventor and is shown in front of a blackboard with a complicated equation. This may seem like basic stuff, and you'd think that the equation that was numbers on the blackboard had a secret message or was written in a way that mathematicians could say, yeah, that's a real formula, or something like that, right? Except it was real, and in 2012, it was almost spot on for the actual formula that predicted the mass of the Higgs boson particle. That equation predicts the mass of the Higgs boson. Writer Simon Singh said, if you work it out, you can get the mass of a Higgs boson that's only a bit larger than the nanomass of a Higgs boson actually is. It's kind of amazing, as Homer makes this prediction 14 years before it was discovered. That is one weird and freaky coincidence. It's been proven multiple times that there are plenty of math geeks on the Simpsons writer staff, and so there's no doubt they put their heads together to make that equation. But to be able to basically predict the mass of a particle over a decade before accredited scientists figured it out, I think we should give them a Nobel Peace Prize, right? Autocorrect. Oh yeah, this is a shout out to everyone who has had frustrations with autocorrect, smartphones in general, and just trying to get your device to understand what you're saying or thinking. School bullies, Kearney and Dolph take a memo to beat up Martin on a Newton device in an episode of The Simpsons that aired in 1994. The memo gets quickly translated to eat Martha, an early foreshadowing of autocorrect frustrations. The Simpsons was lampooning Apple's underwhelming Newton, the iPhone's ancient ancestor, that had just been released and included shoddy handwriting recognition, according to Fast Company. Nitin Gantra, former director of engineering iOS applications at Apple, told Fast Company that this particular moment on The Simpsons served as inspiration to get the iPhone keyboard right. Smartwatch. An important thing that you need to remember is that The Simpsons premiered in December of 1989, so a lot of what they were doing was based on both their present and what the writers perceived the future would be like. For example, in 1995, cell phones weren't really a thing in the mass market yet, and the idea of a phone being put into a watch was unheard of, except for in The Simpsons, that is. During season 6, a future timeline showed Lisa with a husband, and that husband had a smartwatch on, and that smartwatch had the ability to take orders from Hugh, Lisa's husband, and give orders to other people. Fast forward to 2014, and the first smartwatches were born and released to the public, and with each passing year, they got stronger in function and are able to do more, and the sky is literally the limit for them right now. Domino's even made it to where you could go and use your smartwatch to order a pizza from them, which obviously the writers of The Simpsons couldn't have known about it back in 1995, but maybe they just felt that this was where everything was going and thus decided to do their own spin on things. Never forget, Star Trek was the literal birthplace of cell phones because of the communicators they had on the show. So who's to say they didn't look at The Simpsons during this episode and go, yeah, we can do that. The Rolling Stones. Here's actually another future prediction come true from the very same episode. During Lisa's wedding, we get to look at the room her and Hugh share, and on the wall of the room is a poster that reads, The Rolling Stones Steel Wheelchair Tour. Obviously, this is a dig at the age of the Rolling Stones back in 1995 and how they would likely still be performing in 2010.
It's like a stoner band.
And they were right. Not only were the Stones still going in 2010, they were still making waves. For example, a few years before the deadline that episode laid out, the Rolling Stones were headliners at the Super Bowl 35 back in 2006. And yeah, the Rolling Stones are still going at it today. This goes to show that they can still get some satisfaction. And the Simpsons can get satisfaction that they were correct in yet another prediction. And it wouldn't be their last one in terms of musical talent, albeit from a much newer source and one who isn't quite as old as Mick Jagger. Las Vegas. Sometimes it's honestly rather scary how accurate the Simpsons get in their predictions, especially when it comes to tragedies that actually occur. In 1993, during the 5th season, they had an episode called Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling. Basically, Mr. Burns had legalized gambling in Springfield and opened up a casino to prove how much money he could make. And in that casino was a couple of performers, Gunter and Ernst, and it was oh so obvious that these two were meant to spoof the legendary Vegas duo Siegfried and Roy. During the episode, one of the duo actually got attacked by one of their pet tigers. A hilarious bit for the show, no doubt, until it became real 10 years later. In 2003, Roy Horn was indeed attacked by one of the tigers that they had performed with time and time again. The mauling was so bad that it ended their careers and Roy was severely hurt. There's a lot of controversy still surrounding what happened, but there's no denying that The Simpsons were uncannily accurate with how it would go down. I didn't vote for him. Elections are something that every sitcom or animated series set in the real world tries to make fun of, and the big one is coming later. And The Simpsons were no different. In 2008, the show decided to do an episode that featured not just voting, but voting via an electronic machine. This was a big setup for the world following the 2000 presidential controversy in Florida, where votes were recounted because of incorrect marking. And so surely an electronic solution would work better, as there is no way a system like that could fail, right? Well, the Simpsons team knew the flaws in that system, so during the 2008 election, they had Homer use one of these machines to go and vote for Barack Obama. Except that when he pushed the sensor for Obama, the vote
It's like
tallied up
being
for
mad.
John McCain instead. And of course,
like
hijinks
being
ensued.
mad at
Fast
your
forward a mere
cheerleader,
4 years later to the
not
2012
the
election, and a
football
very similar thing happened.
'Cause he
One
lost.
of the electronic voting machines wasn't calibrated properly, and due to this, it took a vote for Barack Obama
Football
and
team
tallied
is
it
the
for his
football
opponent,
team
Mitt
is the
Romney,
reason he
instead.
lost.
Obviously, this was a big scandal, and it had to be
Cheerleaders had
fixed,
nothing
and
to
yet
do
when
with
people
it.
looked back
He
at
just
the
put on
episode,
himself.
it was uncannily accurate again. These are the predictions that weird people out, because when you predict something like a Nobel Peace Prize winner or the creation of smartwatches, those are honestly lucky guesses. But to get something like this, yeah, that's something. Mutated tomatoes. During the episode EI Annoyed Grunt, the Simpsons got themselves a farm and decided to go and grow tomatoes. But in the process of growing them, Homer actually used nuclear power to
I wanna
fuse
have a
tomatoes
farm.
with tobacco.
what
Because
I
he
wanna
did
eat
this, the
from.
tomatoes
My
actually
thing.
became highly addictive, and when they grew, they were giant and deformed. Surely nothing like this would happen in real life, right? Wrong. Because while the episode aired in 1999, around 2013, a field of tomatoes in Japan were found to have grown to an enormous size that didn't make any sense. It was found out that the tomatoes were actually a result of contamination from the nearby nuclear power plant. And thankfully they weren't addictive, but the fact still remains that this kind of deformed tomato still happened. There's also a lot of controversy over genetically engineered tomatoes that have been grown by certain companies, which no doubt could go the Homer Simpson route if they wanted to. Game of Thrones.
Hey,
This
no
one is too
lie.
good not to mention. Game
That's
of
a
Thrones
weird
for
thing to
years was the
predict.
best show on television. The adaptation of the works of
Chemically
George R.R.
engineered
Martin had
tomatoes.
many fans gripped for years and frequently tuning into HBO when the new season dropped so that they could watch the next episode. However, by the time season
of
6 and
Thrones?
7, they had
Never
run out of
really watched
source
it.
material because Martin
all
hadn't
about
finished the
dragons.
series.
I would
In
love
fact,
to watch it,
season
but it's
8 of the
not.
series is the most hated
Dragons
of
are
the
just a part
series,
of it.
and the series finale is rated one of the most hated series finales
Dragon,
of
bro,
all time.
they need to
You see
make
where
like
this is
a
going,
literal
right? Yeah, the
dragon
Simpsons
show
predicted the
or a
big twist
dragon anime.
in season 8.
But
In
like a
2017,
real-looking
on a
dragon
season
show, not-
29 episode of The Simpsons titled The Surf's
Not
Son, which
animated.
spoofed various aspects of
Nasty.
Game of Thrones, including the three-eyed raven
like that
and the
dragon,
Night
though?
King, Homer revives a
These
dragon that
animated
proceeds to
dragons,
incinerate a village. Up until that point, the dragons of Daenerys had only burned certain things, not whole villages. But this was clearly different, and the positioning of the shot is not unlike the shot Cersei Lannister had when she watched the dragon, Drogon, burn down King's Landing.
Victoria's
The NSA
Secret.
spying on us. One of the biggest controversies in the
So,
world right
was
now is
Victoria's
that of the
Secret,
government watching us from all sources. Our phones, our
they,
computers, even our televisions
good
at
back
times.
then?
And all
Like,
of these spying
were they
endeavors
in-
can often be traced
the people
back
back
to
from
the
Victoria's
NSA.
Secret were
Well,
there
in the
or something?
2007 big budget
I don't know if
project,
you
The
guys seen it,
Simpsons
but it
movie,
said
Homer
Victorian
and the
Secret.
family have to go on the run after an incident at a nearby lake. But while they're fleeing by bus, the NSA actually hacks into the bus driver, who was a robot, just so you know, so that they could listen in on their conversation.
I don't know if I'm ready to love again. You hang up first.
Oh, you hang up first.
Okay.
6 years later, in 2013, Edward Snowden revealed to the world that the NSA was indeed listening to people's conversations, and that drove the world nuts in many ways. President Trump. There are some out there who still can't believe that Donald Trump won the 2016 elections to become the President of the United States. But all the way back in 2000, The Simpsons thought it could happen, and they played it big. This was in the episode Bart to the Future, and featured another future timeline, in which Lisa was actually the President of the United States, and she said lines that indicated that the billionaire businessman was indeed the president before her. But was it just a joke meant to be funny? Not according to the writers. They actually did the episode as a kind of warning to America. That just seemed like the logical last step before hitting bottom, the writer said. It was pitched because it was consistent with the vision of America going insane. Matt Groening was asked about this, and he recalled why Trump was picked then and why it's even more ironic now. Trump was, of course, the most absurd placeholder joke name that we could think
So
of
the
at the
world is
time,
going
and that's
insane?
still true. It's beyond
Everything's
satire.
just crazy.
Indeed, Trump's
It's really
current
not.
reign as president
Nothing
has been
has
one
really
full of
changed.
controversy and chaos, and that's to put things lightly. You almost have to wonder what would have happened if we had learned from The Simpsons all those years ago. And there you have it, 15 times The Simpsons predicted the future. Can you believe that they got this much right? Which of these predictions are the most insane to you? Which ones made your jaw drop when you heard them? Let me know in the comments.
I came in with a new 40 Glock. Fuck on your bitch, make that hoe on a milli rock. I'm with my boys and no, we do not milli rock. Funny
Alright,
money,
that's
no,
gonna
this
do
is
it,
not no
guys.
silly.